Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction or read through for Omniscient Reader or Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. This time we're doing 88, 89, and hopefully 90. Again, I've been trying to do 3 every single week, but I am admittedly running just a little bit behind, and I'm also off number to end things at chapter 109, because at 109 I want that to be a video break. So yeah, one of these weeks I'll either have to do one less 2 times, or I'll have to do 4 for 1 week. But this week I'm running behind. I'll try to do 3, but if 2 of these are like really long, then I'll maybe have to cut it short, but hopefully not. Either way, been loving Omniscient Reader. I think the stuff with the catastrophe of questions was my favorite stuff in the series so far, but again, Omniscient Reader just keeps getting better and better and better. I loved the Dokubi stuff last time around. I thought it was really fun, just because I enjoy the characters that we've had around a lot, and the main story has just been getting, again, progressively better. So we left on a bit of a Sangha cliffhanger, and it does make me curious as to what we're going to get into with her. So either way, no need for a long intro. Let's start reading and discuss it as we read. So we start out here with there are 2 kinds of constellations in the world of TWSA. Maybe this is good. I want more explanation stuff. Free constellations who don't belong to any groups, and the constellations who belong to a specific nebula. This is probably going to explain, because apparently like a group of gods or something, like the Olympian ones, are messing around with Sangha. So I guess specific nebulas would be like specific pantheons of different like mythologies. Okay. Some of the famous nebulas on Earth that are based on mythology are Asgard from Nordic mythology, Eden of Revelations. Okay, so you'll have like the Norse mythology, the Christian mythology, and then Olympus, which Sangha's constellation belongs to. Okay, so Olympus is, I wonder if it's only the like 12 Olympians or however many Olympians, or if it's like all of the Greek gods. And then they say Eden of Revelations instead of like calling it like, again, Christian mythos, or it's interesting that they say Revelation specifically. So that makes me wonder, because we have already seen Uriel, right? Does Uriel count as part of that or no? And if it's not Revelations, then you would think like, is there like an actual just straight up like Christian God or Christian Satan? Like, are they actual things? Are you going to have all of the like Catholic mythos, or like old school back when there was more, what's the word I'm looking for here, mysticism, I guess, to Christianity, where you have like all the classifications of angels and the different like apocrypha, not like actual Bible apocrypha, but like I guess Christian fiction stuff like Paradise Lost, or the Divine Comedy, where you would have like named demons and angels and stuff? Are you going to have more of that? Because when you say like a Revelation specifically, I'm like, when you say Revelation specifically, all I really think about necessarily is like the 4 horsemen. But then, and the 4 horsemen are more, I don't know, like one of them is death, like literal death. Can you have just literal death as your constellation? But then too, I guess saying Asgard, so Asgard, I guess maybe is just counting, I don't really know that much about Norse mythology, but I know that there are different groups of gods or whatever, so I guess that only counts the Asgardian gods, not the other ones. But again, it's questionable. How dare an insignificant human such as yourself mock the great constellations? And then chapter 19, Singularity Part 2. I recently, was watching a Ron Can video where he said, he was like, with ORV, I try not to think of like space and other planets and stuff, because then I'm just going to be lost and I'm never going to get back. This is kind of me thinking about this mythology stuff, because I'm like, maybe we will get this all spelled out, but I'm like, I probably shouldn't think about it too much, because I don't know, like, if we're actually even, like, if the story's really even going to get into that. They might just be mentioning this stuff, but then they're like, we don't actually get that deeply into it, for all I know. You've got to be kidding me. You're not even a real god. The plausibility rule for the early scenarios does not permit the gods of Olympus to descend upon the world. Am I wrong? How? With the current rule of plausibility, it seems you're the only one allowed through. Lover of the abandoned labyrinth. The historical constellation of Olympus, Ariadne. The constellations of Olympus must be rather stingy, seeing as how they sent you because of your low plausibility cost. Shut it. How dare you? And then, again, trying to exercise too much power might, they won't be able to attack me here now. Again, might cause some issues with the rules. Taking over an incarnation's will to descend here must have used up a lot of plausibility already. They'll have a lot to lose if they use their powers now. Yeah, again, if there's some sort of blowback from it, then they might get completely shut out of being able to use Sangha. I know you must not have a lot of time. How about we get straight to the point? The gods of the other dimension seem to have noticed your presence. How can a mere human know such things? That's not important right now. You're not here to just banter with me, are you? I'm going to ask you 3 questions. If you answer my questions, I'll answer yours too. Are you requesting a 3-question exchange? 3-question exchange is a method used by the constellations to trade information with the minimum possible plausibility loss. A human using the method of the constellations. Are you in or not? And stop going on about humans. Fine, I accept your request. A constellation who doesn't want the excitement to stop shows interest in your offer. And the divine 3-question exchange has begun. And we see there's actually like a setup for it. Like an actual not really a HUD, but there are like elements for it. Both parties can exchange 3 questions for 3 answers. All questions must be answered truthfully. Both parties can refuse to answer 1 question each. The exchange does not end until all questions have been answered according to the rules. I'll go first. The first question will now be asked. So the smartest thing to do is to ask a hard question that they would want to refuse first, so then they can't refuse any of the second 2 questions. Would probably be the best strategy, you'd think. Number 1, why did you take over Sangha's body? Your home's on the other side of the world. Yeah, that's true. Taking over like a random Korean woman. Don't you have your hands full with your scenarios there? Why? It's to monitor the singularity of this world. The first question has been answered. Singularity? Is that your second question? No, it's your turn now. Damn it, she's smarter than I thought. Constellation Lover of the Abandoned Labyrinth will ask her first question. Who are you? Me? I'm one of the singularities you're monitoring. Constellation Lover of the Abandoned Labyrinth has received her first answer. Okay, so he is one of them. How did you know? I guess I am that singularity after all. So again, this is really good and really smart on Dokja's part. And this is something that I said in a response to one of Lucky or Lachi, one of their comments last time, mentioning Dokja being smart, but so often it feels like smart characters can just like do anything, but Dokja doesn't necessarily feel like that. And what I was saying is that what I like is that so often you can have characters who are supposed to be smart or useful, and it's like OP main protagonist does everything good and everybody loves them and they never mess up. But what's good about Dokja is that Dokja's very smart. Dokja has the benefit of knowing what's happening ahead of time to some degree because of having read the story, but Dokja still loses from time to time. He still makes mistakes. Sometimes he makes simple mistakes. He still thinks he knows more than he does sometimes. He still gets things mixed up sometimes. Dokja is a smart character and a character with the benefit of knowing ahead of time, but he's still imperfect. Like, we don't see him being perfect. The story isn't afraid to show Dokja getting embarrassed or defeated or losing in some sort of way. Now, like, overall, he still ends up on top, but that's, I mean, just how a story is typically gonna go with your protagonist. But what makes Dokja so good is that he isn't OP in the sense that he can just go up against anything and not lose. He still messes up a lot. But I love here that he answered the question in that way instead of just saying his name or something. He answered it in that way because if the thing said, okay, you gave the wrong answer, now you need to give a real answer. If it's like, you're lying, you need to tell a truthful answer, then he would have known, okay, I'm not a singularity. But if he answers it and it says, okay, answer accepted, then he knows that he is one. So that means he doesn't have to ask that as a question. He gets more information out of her question. Huh? I guess I am that singularity after all. I was just guessing. Why, you... Calm down. Don't get upset now. Isn't this how you usually play this game? A constellation who doesn't want the excitement to stop is pleased with your witty answer. This is how you get the most out of the 3-question exchange. You have to ask the most useful questions during your turn, and make your opponent waste their questions. And it's not even so much wasting her question, but turning it around so that he gets information out of her question too. And in addition to that, like I said, since they can all deny or decline to answer one, to me, the best thing to do would just be to throw the ultimate hardball as early as possible, or even as your second question, it's fine. So then at least use it before your last question, because them denying or declining to answer your last question is bad. So before your last question, ask something just really stupidly difficult that they will not want to answer, meaning that they have to and are forced to answer your last one. At least your last one. Now my second question. What is this singularity? The second question's been asked. It refers to beings like yourself. You're trying to wriggle out of this. Give me a proper answer. You don't want us to keep beating around the bush, do you? And then... In principle, they're beings who appear in the Oracle. At first, we did not intend on monitoring you. It was a coincidence that we crossed paths. A coincidence, he thinks. We were going to monitor something else. Beings who destroy plausibility, carrying the burden of destiny on their backs. So Junghyuk, then, that's what we refer to as a singularity. I see. I think I get what a singularity is. The second question has been answered. Because again, if Junghyuk can just regress again and again, then the star stream and existence itself is going to continue to be reset to play along with whatever path he goes down. So in truth, it seems like, depending on, again, what happens to Dokja if he dies or if Junghyuk dies, at least from the knowledge we have right now, Junghyuk is more of an actual singularity based on the, very textbook definition. More of a singularity than Dokja. I see. I think I get what a singularity is. The second question's been answered. If you're satisfied, it's my turn to ask you a question. Constellation Lover of the Abandoned Labyrinth will ask your second question. Who will you choose in the upcoming support selection? A constellation who doesn't want the excitement to stop is awaiting your answer with great interest. He's going to have to decline this one, and then he's going to be stuck having to answer the last one, isn't he? Because if he says... Okay, I think I might know a way he can get around this. Because I was going to say he's kind of screwed, because a part of his plan, a part of getting all these people in, powering up Be Young, is that he needs them to believe he's going to choose one of them. So if he answers honestly and says, I'm not picking anyone, then that would ruin what he's got going on here. But he could give, I wonder if he could give a general answer, because, like, I wonder if I don't know yet would count as, like, an actual real answer, because, again, if he was planning to choose somebody, like, I don't know if I would have made my decision that quickly if I was him either. Or maybe he just says, the strongest one, or whatever, and, like, it's fine. It's not technically, I mean, it is technically a lie, but I don't know. We'll have to see. This was unexpected. Constellation prisoner of the Golden Headbands chanting his nickname. A few constellations who love the Korean Peninsula are nervous. I won't answer that. It'll be no fun if I told you now who I'm going to pick. You've used your right to refuse. You can no longer refuse any more, or to answer any more questions. Then here's my last question. So again, this is not necessarily the best for him, because now she can just, decline to answer his last question. Constellation, lover of the abandoned labyrinth, will ask your last question. How'd you know that we were watching you? Damn it, this must have been what they're after all along. Because I could have just given them an irrelevant answer, they asked about my identity. They've thought of a very specific question. What should I do? And then, I've read a lot of books. What? I know all of this because I've read a lot of books. Damn it. Seeing as how there's no announcement that the question's been answered, I guess my answer wasn't convincing enough. But I can't tell them about TWSA here. Even if I do, it'll be filtered out. Then, in general, Koreans know a lot about your mythology. What do you mean? You guys are pretty famous here. You're so popular that we publish comics for children based on your mythology. You've spoiled the fun. You better make up for it. Yes, sir. I guess you didn't know that you're really famous here. That can't be. A tiny country of the East, such as this, couldn't... The Cretan Labyrinth? The monster who's half human, half beast. Your lover who's forgotten about you, imprisoned on Naxos Island. The love affair with an Olympian god. Shall I continue? Stop. I get it, so stop. The Constellation, lover of the abandoned labyrinth, has received her third answer. How can a human from this tiny country know about my fable? Now for my last question. That oracle you say you received, what was it about? I cannot tell you that. I knew this would happen, but what a bummer. The last question was the most important. Constellation, lover of the abandoned labyrinth, has used her right to refuse. All answers and questions have been exchanged. Honestly, that was a more important question than the one about singularities. All answers and questions have been exchanged. The divine three-question exchange is ended. A constellation who doesn't want the excitement to stop is sad to see the exchange end. I've entertained your insolence because my husband was curious about you, but this is where it ends. There's only one reason why I descended to this world. This is a stern warning from Olympus. Do not meddle in our affairs. We're working to prevent this world from ending, and this woman will become the wall to stop the oncoming tide of destruction. But why Sang-ah? It's pointless to ask why. Even the three sisters who spin the threads of fate did not know. Damn it. Olympus really does blame everything on fate. You, incarnation restricted by the scenarios. The direction of fate is being turned. All the flow of the stars will gather into one place, and the story that decides the fate of the constellations will begin. What do you mean? Are you talking about Gigantomachia? Even if you know about that, you even know about that, you never cease to surprise us. But you'll never fully understand, as you're a mere puppet to the moment. But remember, if you're standing on the wrong side, when the end is nigh, and she's taken away. Okay, and that's where we end. That was seemingly a long one, in the sense that there was a lot there. There was a lot in that chapter. I feel as though I discussed it a lot as we went through. I had to stop and talk a lot throughout it, So given that, I'm just going to move on to 89 for now, and again, we'll talk some more as we go through it. We have a violence warning. That is not something we get all the time for Omniscient Reader, but when we do have some pretty extreme violence, boy do we have some pretty extreme violence in Omniscient Reader. So let's see what happens. We have Sangha falling forward, presumably caught by Dokja. I must not look up right now. Personal skill, fourth wall has nullified your emotional shock. If I do... Personal skill, fourth wall has nullified your emotional shock. The gods of the other dimension. Okay, so did they interfere to stop Ariadne from speaking more? Okay. They are what I'm going to be fighting against. So then, if they are like seemingly a level above, because again, one of them with the throne could have just destroyed the world, right? If they are just this step beyond what the constellations are, and the constellations are mythological gods even, I wonder if these are just eldritch entities beyond normal human concepts of what gods are. What I'm going to be fighting against. The final scenario had many different names. Ragnarok, Gigantomachia, Armageddon. I wonder. So I know, of course, Ragnarok is Norse mythology and Armageddon is Christian, or at least some versions of Christian. Is that Jewish as well? I don't know. 'Cause like even some like interpretations of Christian stuff, I think wouldn't believe in like Armageddon necessarily. But I've never heard of Gigantomachia outside of My Hero Academia. So then was Gigantomachia the end of the world for Greek mythology? Because he was speaking to a Greek god. So I guess, yeah, maybe that's Gigantomachia maybe is Greek then? I don't know what Ariadne meant when she said the end. But one thing's for sure. Something different from what I know is about to start. And then, as the portal closes back up, we have these eldritch horrors shrieking at it. This is exactly what I wanted. If things carried on as they did in the novel, I'll never be able to get the ending I want. I'm going to create a story that'll stand face to face with any mythology. The power of a fable stirs in the depths of your soul. Your first stigma is about to blossom. So, Dokja becoming a fable himself, it says your first stigma is about to blossom. Is he creating his own stigma instead of using a constellation's? And we have an injured Lycaon. Damn, that wolf. I can't believe I've ended up taking over the body of the wolf of Immuntar. Oh, is she still going to be alive then? Is this the Parasite Queen? But I guess I should be thankful I was lucky enough to survive. Okay, it is. This body won't last much longer. I need to find a new host, and I'll drive the Earthlings who've ruined my home Kronos to extinction. This energy, this familiar energy, is like what I felt from the monarch-level insects of Kronos. If I could take over the beings who emanate such energy, I'd be able to take my revenge. Oh, this is... And we're getting Gil Young back? Again, we didn't get to see, like... We didn't get to see what happened with Gil Young and, like, him getting sent to one of the places that meant something to him as a person. Like we did with the... Or, like we did with pretty much all of the other side characters. We didn't get to see theirs either. Wow. I've never seen an insect like you before. And we have creepy shot of Gil Young. You ran into the worst person. Chapter 19, Singularity, Part 3. And then we're back to Dokja and Suyeong. Best girl, by the way. You're up? Did you have a bad dream? What's with that look? Something like that. What I saw just now from the vision, was the vision from the Omniscient Reader's viewpoint that activated subconsciously. I wonder if Gil-young is okay. Okay, so he saw that. Where's Sang-ah? Oh, my back. She went out to surveil the area. She wanted to look around. So what now? What else? We wait until the scenario begins. Do you think I asked to hear an answer like that? You must have a plan, right? There are 5 days left until the scenario begins. So if Jungkook takes care of the west, and that King of the Wanderers takes care of the north, what about the center? You would think he would want to regroup with the others. We do it together. I'm sure there is an easier way. Did you forget? And he's surprised. Did you plagiarize that too? I didn't. There's an easy way to prevent the catastrophe at the center, from what I know. You're going to do it, right? She did plagiarize it, he thinks. Dokja, you seem much happier since that woman came back. Because I can trust her. Some friends you are. We'll come up with a plan while we keep moving. And it's interesting how the sky has kind of closed up a bit from like Kronos seeping in and the terraforming happening. We'll follow the Han River to the west. Sang-ah, come to my right. Suyeong, you take the back. Let's head towards the center. We have 2 goals. 1, to find Pildu, who went missing by the Han River. And 2, to defeat the monsters in the area and collect coins. I didn't expect us 3 to be able to hunt level 7 and even level 6 monsters so easily. Sang-ah, try not to use all your stigmas at once. Oh, I'm sorry. I caused a mess back then, didn't I? No, it's not because of that. Using multiple stigmas simultaneously will put a strain on your body. Those bastards at Olympus probably didn't even tell her this. Thank you for your concern. Did you already know about this? You must still think that I'm the old helpless Sang-ah. I'm not like you. I can't do anything in this new world. All the certificates or licenses I've earned are useless here. And did you think you could change things by becoming powerful? Where are those items? Suyeong is searching through the monsters. A little. She didn't have such scars on her hand before. I've just decided to work on the things that matter most in this world. Or the things that matter in this world. That's all. Then, who the hell could it be? A message? And then Hung Dong-hoon, are you alright? Dong-hoon? Then, I couldn't contact you earlier because it's been difficult to get an internet connection lately. It was beyond my abilities. I'm in the Yongsan-gu area. Gil-young's here too. Gil-young's with you? Yes. That's a relief. I was worried. Good. Now that I've found out where Hyunsung and Hui-won are through Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. Sang-ah, I've received a message from Dong-hoon. He's with Gil-young. The only thing left to do is get together. As for Ji-hye, Jung-hyuk will take care of her. I think it's time we cross the river. You mean that river? How? And it's full of ichthyosaur? And that's where we end. Okay. We get cut off there. So I wonder, like, we're gonna get back into him regrouping with everyone. I thought he said that Jung-hyuk was gonna meet back up with Hyunsung when he goes to take out the one in the west, I think it is. So those two will probably end up, and of course he just mentioned Ji-hye will be with Jung-hyuk, so I guess those 3 will probably maybe end up together. And of course the Poison Beauty, not Il-sung, that's Myung-il-sung, Solhwa, I think she was Solhwa, she will probably also end up there with them, so he needs to now meet up with Dong-hoon and Gil-young. And that still leaves Min Sub and a guy whose name I always forget. I always forget his name. They're still out there somewhere. And we need to meet up with Pildu. Okay, and I think that's everybody. Oh, Hui-won, of course. Hui-won might be with Hyunsung, though. Like, they might also be in the west, where Jung-hyuk and presumably Ji-hye are going to end up. Okay, so I will end up... I'll read one more. Let's go. Let's read Chapter 90. With this chapter, we might also be moving into the next little chapter here. Chapter 9. Nope, never mind. Absolutely just clapped at the very, very beginning. Chapter 19, Singularity Part 4. Incredibly incorrect. We have Dongjake Daegyo. Okay. Brazil? Sorry. The bridge here, this probably means bridge. The bridge here is broken down as well. See, didn't I tell you all of them were destroyed? The ichthyosaur is a level 7 monster. If I can hunt it, or I can hunt it down if I want. It won't be as hard as it used to be, but there's just way too many of them. Or I could swim. That won't work. It'll be even riskier to encounter them while swimming. I thought there'd be at least one bridge that was left untouched. What now? Do I have random people? People? Are they wanderers? And then, what do you think you're doing? They're starving. So, don't tell me you're going to share your food with them. Are you out of your mind? Don't you know that people are the most dangerous in the apocalypse? I could kill them all if I wanted to. But on the contrary, I could save them all as well. It's meat. Thank you. I don't think you're carrying enough around in your backpack for this. There's a lot of just random people begging for food. Like, how are they getting the coins to survive the day-to-day? Hey, shouldn't we... We have enough, it doesn't matter. Maybe I'll share some of mine as well. Oh, thank you so much. A few people have become fond of you. You're so two-faced. I do good deeds too, sometimes. But honestly, this is just a calculated move. Your understanding of the character Shin Yuin has increased. Your understanding of the character Ma Gungchul has increased. New characters have been added to your bookmark. So he's going to get to maybe see what all of these people can do. I thought women like her only existed in works of fiction. Me too. Even before the apocalypse, Sang-ah was like a female protagonist of some novel. And then a girl runs up. Thank you. This girl has good manners. She must be around Go-young's age. And then Suyeong is still looking on, suspicious. Where are your parents? They're not here anymore. Both of them? This little child has survived until the 5th scenario without her guardians. Suspicious. Unless she's been dropped off in the middle of nowhere, this is near impossible in TWSA. Hold on. Is he going to see her character profile? Dropped off. Goodbye then. Wait. Did she just come here to thank me? And then he looks back. No, never mind. Goodbye. We're just wasting our time and food. Okay. Sorry, let me just glance back through. Okay. So did he say wait because he was going to try to take her in or something? But then he thought about how it would look to Suyeong and how pissed she'd be? Maybe? Not sure. We're just wasting our time and food. And then, just wait and see, they'll be back for more soon. Didn't you see them eyeing our weapons? They'll end up biting the hand that feeds them. Not everyone's bad just because it's the apocalypse. Yes, they are. Almost all of them. And see, while you will meet good people here and there, Suyeong is probably, like, if this was written realistically, probably generally right. Like, these random people would not have just survived like this. Without, like, being murderous. 1 hour later. I'll be back soon, drooling for some more. Sure, if you say so. 2 hours. And the protagonist in the novel only uses piercing attacks. Really? I guess they're pretty patient. Must be waiting for us to let our guards down. 3 hours. You're gonna scare them away. This can't be. They should be coming any minute now. 4 hours later. And they hear rustling. They're here! Finally! Why are you so happy? The veins in her eyes. See, what I tell you. Excuse me. May I have a moment, please? And it's the girl from before. Well, these. Constellation Demonic Judge of Fire smiles benevolently. You've been gifted 2,000 coins. The Sober Chat. Thank you for the blankets. Are you alone? It's dangerous for you to be out and about so late. It's just as dangerous wherever I go. Do you want to stay here with us? What? No, thank you. I'll only end up being a burden. Oh. Wait. And then she throws a weapon and stops her from leaving. You're not going anywhere. And she's pissed. She must have realized something. What do you think you're doing? No, I think this is a setup for them not to trust her because they think that Suyeong's just being a jerk. But it probably actually is a setup this time. Like, we had it not be a setup for so long to make us think that it's just her being paranoid, her being a jerk, and to set up why Dokja and Sang-ah might not trust her here. But Suyeong probably actually did notice something. Dokja, you know what to do, right? And then we end there. We're cliffhung with it. Okay, that's a pretty cool cliffhanger though. So we only have 5 days left this time. I'm gonna end things here. Thank you so much. This was maybe the shortest chapter of Omniscient Reader so far. I really like the story at this point. I'm interested. We're learning a lot more, and I'm interested in that. So yeah, I guess there's not too much more to say. I'll end things here. Thank you so much for watching though. Thank you so much. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this week's set of chapters, my first thoughts and reaction. Subscribe for much more Omniscient Reader and everything else on the channel. Tons more. If you would like to follow on Twitter, you can. If you'd like to talk on Discord, it's free and open for anyone. Ask and I can give you a link. If you'd like to help support the channel, drop a super thanks down below if you'd like to be at the constellation yourself, or if you want to get a shout out at the end of every single video, get One Piece videos early, in addition to knowing that you're helping me to continue to make videos. You can hit join down below to become a member. Go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you so much to people who are patrons and members. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Hawley, Magical Girls, Efren Ono and Abyss Knight, Cheerton Students, David Langstaff and Folded Ghoul, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element Pate Diallo. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.